right, and welcome back, everybody, to another great episode of Banter on the Rocks. Today is Tuesday, June 16th, and we've got another loaded episode for everybody here today. And if this is your first time checking into the show, welcome to the chaos. And to everybody who taps in each and every single week, we appreciate the support more than you'll ever know, for sure. And make sure you subscribe, follow, turn on that notification bell, so you never miss a weekly drop with the boys here. And on today's lineup, we're going to get into our latest Banter takes, as we always do. We have our summer movie bash game check-in that we're going to hit up. We got WOLFPAck World Cup check-in, a lot of exciting stuff to go over in that topic. Got the NBA Finals, our final thoughts on that series closing out in the year altogether, and of course, much, much more. And you already know how we do it. Real conversations, unfiltered opinions, questionable takes at times, and plenty of banter along the way. And as we do each and every single week, we are kicking things off here with our banter drinks of the week. What we're sipping on, why we picked it, and how it's feeling ourselves for today's show. I will get us started. I have, a gin and tonic. Still working my way through the fabulous Hendrick's Gin, John. Got some tonic there. I did kind of go into the IPAs again. Okay. Hate to say it, but trying to keep up with the fitness quite a bit. I got some type of Made West collab. I think it was with a San Diego brewery, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. Not drinking that this evening, but I had one over the weekend. It was top notch. Good stuff. Good for World Cup soccer.
It is. I think the beers are always a good drink for the World Cup soccer. I am having a squirt with tequila, so have that. I got another cup at McDonald's. Shows my
good pull.
Lamine Yamal, good pull. Very right nice. There. So, but yeah, tequila and squirt, just sticking to something old school that is easy to make.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is there like a? Do you know if there's like a character? A person, an athlete that is most sought after when it comes to those cups?
I'm thinking it's probably Lamine Yamal, and then I've heard a lot of people say Ronaldinho or David Beckham. I think the more old school players, classic.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, go with the classics.
Yeah.
I got to make my way back.
Yeah. Okay. See what you get. Hopefully,
I'm telling you though. Hopefully it's not a repeat, but I am telling you, I swear it's not a conspiracy. You gotta just know your go-to McDonald's of who cooks the food right. We talked about this maybe about a year ago.
Yeah.
I got to get back to the one in TO. That the way they make those nuggets, it's extra crispy. It's on point.
Yeah. I moved to Ojai, and it's a different taste of McDonald's. Not bad. So just getting used to it. So.
Is that a town with no drive-thrus?
It has a drive-thru.
Oh, it does. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
They close at like 10:30 though, compared to
that's it.
Midnight in other places.
Yeah. There's always one catch with a small town.
Yeah, that's the one to catch. But yeah, that's our drinks of the week, and we'll get into our Wolfpack check-in. So. This is where we talk things football, from Tim's ongoing Wolves fandom journey to the Premier League drama, transfer rumors, heartbreak, overreactions, everything happened around the world of football. And with the World Cup here, not around the corner anymore, we'll be diving into the biggest storylines, contenders, dark horses, and just give you the updates on the tournament, what we've watched, what our takes are. So whether your club is flying high, you're fighting for survival in the group stages, or making questionable decisions in the game, we got plenty to talk about. So grab your drink, join the pack, and let's get into some football talk. And I don't know, how do you want to start today, Tim? Do you want to start with soccer?
I think we start with your big news. I got to hear about the experience and just hear all about it. I'm excited.
Yeah. So big news. It came on the podcast last week. It started off with Tim, so I give Tim the credit for this, but we became full-on New Zealand supporters from this podcast and our predictions.
Big time.
So I was lucky enough to be able to get some tickets to go watch New Zealand versus Iran yesterday. So as you can see, I had the white jersey on yesterday. I'm working on my little montage video of everything from yesterday. You can see I went full out. Got
Fire.
the black one too, so I got both jerseys full on 100% Kiwi. But the experience, I will say, the New Zealander fans, amazing, man. So before the game, there's this group on Instagram that I found, the Flying Kiwis FC. It's a group
Hmm.
of New Zealanders, Kiwi fans that majority of them are from New Zealand, fly over to support the squad when they play international games, and they were all out here for the game yesterday. So in the morning from 11 to I think it was about 4, um, at Tom's Watch Bar, right across the street from SoFi Stadium, or what they call it now, Los Angeles Stadium. It's not SoFi, Los Angeles
Oh,
Stadium.
all right.
They had a pregame. So the top of Tom's Watch Bar, a restaurant bar, was full. Just you needed a bracelet to get in. Um, so we went, me, Vera, Vera's sister, our my brother-in-law, and their daughter, our niece. We all went to the game, so it was 5 of us. We sat
Hmm.
differently at the game, but we went to that. And what I was telling you, Vera, was funny because like I told them about it, and I think at first they weren't as excited. I think they were a little nervous because they're like, "Oh, this is like full on Kiwi like
Hmm.
party." I was like, "Yeah, we'll be okay." Like not really knowing what I was getting myself into, but
Hmm.
when we got there, everybody had an awesome time. The fans there, especially like the homegrown fans from New Zealand, very welcoming, man. So
That's awesome.
I'll try to do some montages while I'm talking of some of the videos, but very welcoming, fun crowd, very friendly. It was funny everywhere I was walking and like waiting for the bathroom line, waiting their drinks. Everybody was like, "Hey, you coming from New Zealand?" I was like, "Nah, I'm local, not even a New Zealander." But I told him,
Yep.
I was like, "Hey, I run a very small time podcast right now with my buddy," and I was like, "We picked New Zealand to get out of the group, and we're full New Zealand, and
Hmm.
I got the chance to come to this game." So, and a lot of people were very welcoming. So great time, drinking a lot, hearing them do their chants, even just to music. Man, the one video we have, if you guys check it out on Instagram right now, that chant, man, it was just so electric hearing that in person from the fans, everybody yelling it, screaming. That type of environment you can't find anywhere else.
Absolutely. I have that song. I wasn't there. FOMO for sure because it looked amazing.
Yeah.
But I've had that song stuck in my head all day. It's called Poye,
Mhm.
and I did a little bit of background research on it because it's
Okay.
been quite a discussion in the comment section. A lot of
Mhm.
people, are saying it's a traditional classic. It's culturally loved, and
Mhm.
that's pretty much exactly it. From everything I've seen. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing some of these names correctly. But it was performed by Patea Mori Club and released in 1983, reaching number
Okay.
one in New Zealand charts in 1984. And it basically was uh, one of the most popular songs sung in the Mori language,
Mhm.
and has become a classic. And I think a lot of people are kind of talking about how it's popularized, even
Mhm.
right now for World Cup, New
Yeah,
Zealand soccer or football, where it seemed to just hype everybody up
it
tremendously.
did. It,
It's, I mean, not knowing the language, super catchy, right?
Yeah, it's super catchy. The melody was great. You could just vibe to it. If you look in that video, there's this older gentleman with the hat. He had his like little pom poms or something.
Saw
That guy
that.
was just, you saw him. He was just like raving, man. He was having a
Yep.
great time, and I thought it was awesome. Like I said, you could
Yep.
see people all around just having a great time. Belting their lungs out, and like I said, it was a fun pregame experience. I don't know how many other supporting clubs that come into SoCal here at Los Angeles Stadium, up at San Francisco Stadium, across that are doing this. And like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later. The only ones that I've seen, Scotland and Boston, those people
Love
are
it.
taking over that city. Love it. But
Oh,
we'll get to
yeah.
that. We'll get to that a little later.
It's so sick. Yeah.
But yeah, I as New Zealanders, we took over that restaurant. It was funny because we left because we wanted to eat, and we tried to get a seat at the restaurant because it was hard to eat upstairs because everybody was just drinking, not many tables. There was a line outside of the place just to come in because I think people
Wow.
watched the game there, but also they weren't letting fans that were upstairs go down anymore. They're like, if you go down, you can't come back up because there was a line
Mm.
of people waiting to go in.
Mhm.
So what the group did, the Flying Kiwis FC, they created an awesome pregame party supporting the New Zealand. So that was the first part. Then we made the walk to the stadium. Like I say, I've seen stories of how long it takes to get in. It's not as long as people really say. It was a
Mhm.
pretty smooth process. I don't know if it's just because the game wasn't as big as USA Paraguay, but the process wasn't that bad. It was pretty simple, pretty chill. Um, but yeah, once I sent it to you, Tim. I think we had it in the story. Once I got to my seats, I didn't know how good my seats were from the beginning.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I pay. I knew I was paying a good amount, but I knew it was pretty close. But man, I could pretty much smell that fresh cut grass when they sprayed the
Telling you.
water, the sprinklers. Could feel some of the sprinkles just hitting me. Amazing seats.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fresh cut grass smell. I was, almost wondering if you maybe got some sweat from the players on you as well.
Could have
You know,
probably.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty glued to the TV, throughout the match, just because of our support for the Kiwis, but also trying to see if I could see you, in the stands. I think a lot of the broadcast was facing down, so above you, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken, facing
yeah,
towards the field. I think when it switched sides, some angles that kind of popped through on
yeah,
some of the second half goals. And I was like, oh, yeah, it looks like kind of like the angle. Your seats were ridiculous.
yeah.
I feel like, the price you paid to get in seemed like a steal, to be honest
Hmm.
with you, for the seats that you got.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
And then I also, if you second to that, if you could elaborate a little bit about, just you mentioned your section, a lot of
Oh
Iranian
yeah,
fans, and you were
yeah.
standing strong.
Yeah. It was. I will say the stadium felt 90% Iranian fans,
Mm,
and the rest neutral supporters and a small group of Kiwis.
okay.
And as if you know the country, New Zealand, it is a smaller country, so and it's hard to travel. It's like a 14-15 hour plane ride.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think in like the row I saw, because I looked around, I think it was only another group, a pair, a mom and a son,
Mm,
and the son was younger. So I think they probably might have been a little freaked out because shout out to the Iranian fans in my section, they were really chanting for their team.
wow.
They would be loud. Like my eardrums, I feel like might have popped. And
Whew.
at first, like I say, when I got there, I saw the crowd that was around. I was like, ugh, I don't know how much I could celebrate without maybe getting into some trouble, you know.
Mhm.
Because I think I'm just used to the Dodger type fan. If you're not a Dodger fan, you're celebrating for the
Oh,
other
yeah.
team. It's not good news for you. But
Nope.
I think I reached a point. I had some alcohol. I didn't even drink that much. I had like 4 beers probably, but
Mhm.
I was at a point where I'm like, I don't care. Nothing's gonna happen, and if something does, well, something does. But I'm gonna support New Zealand, and it was funny because like Vera recorded me once. I think the second time she was a little distracted, but I was like the only person like yelling, standing up, cheering for their team when New Zealand scored the 2 goals, and everybody around me you could just hear quiet. It was pretty quiet, and we could take
Damn.
over that stadium, but it was like I say, for me it was I was there as a Kiwi fan, New Zealand, and when my team scored, I got excited and I was stoked. It was a fun experience. Like I say, seeing I sent you the video, and I think you also posted that. Kudos to you for being a somewhat our social media manager for the page with what I
Had to
could
be.
send
Yeah.
send that day.
Once in a lifetime. Love it.
Yeah, but the goal, like I say, Vera caught it perfectly. That first goal for New Zealand. Um, Second one, it was on the opposite end of the field. But man, like that electrical atmosphere, the energy that you felt in that stadium for both clubs and just for the sport, it was awesome. It was
Mhm.
awesome. An experience I'll never forget going to a World Cup. Um, and like I say, I think if it's something someone could do, I know it's expensive, and I think I was going to touch on that. People probably would say I paid a little too much, and I'll be straight up. I paid $450 for those seats. People
Mhm.
probably at first, when they look at the game, they see New Zealand and Iran. They're probably like, yeah, that's too much for that close. But honestly, I think out of all the games I've seen since the beginning of the World Cup, that was memorable. It was a great game
Mhm.
from start to finish, very close. And I think the storyline, people are saying, good, good result for New Zealand and Iran, but honestly, Iran's way higher ranked than New Zealand.
Mhm.
I know a lot of the stuff Iran's going through and a lot of the stuff they've been dealing with politically, which, like I say, I won't get into too much. It is tough, but man, New Zealand is like ranked pretty much like 80 something, where Iran, I think, is like in the 30, 40. So, like I say, higher ranking, more, that means more quality players. um and it's just like one of the craziest things. And I think New Zealand actually won that game because we got a point. New
Mhm.
Zealand, as of now, still undefeated in World Cup tournaments since they've been participating. All been ties,
Incredible.
but never lost. So you got to give him something for that. But I think it
Undefeated.
was undefeated, undefeated for New Zealand. Yeah. So, but overall, it's a great game, great experience. I don't know what else to say. Like I say, fun time. Shout out, like I said, shout out to New Zealand. I'm a full Kiwi. Vera had she has her inflatable Kiwi. I don't know, I
Nice.
don't know where she put it. So it,
Sick.
it, it was it was good, great experience. Like I say, hopefully everybody could experience it once in their lifetime. Hopefully it comes back in the future in the U.S. and it's maybe a little bit more affordable and not as expensive as it is. But that experience, and especially for, like I say, a club that we ended up supporting on this podcast, and
Mhm.
we're going to continue supporting the rest of this tournament and hope, and we think they're going to get out of the group stage.
Mhm.
It'll be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're heading up north of the border to Vancouver for their next match. I believe next two matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, excited to follow along. For the ride. I'm glad it took off the way it did. I think that the channel support and the feedback, just even from that video to the take that we had with New Zealand, like it took a far more incredible turn than we could have ever imagined. I think at this point, something where is a sharp shot in the dark take, but I remember I was telling Jen that just kind of how it went down with the choice of New Zealand. And then maybe about 5 minutes later, you're like, I could tell you're still kind of thinking about it. You're like, what,
Yeah.
dude? I like that choice, and it just kind of took off from there.
It
And
did.
we're a big time jersey hat podcast, and just looking at John right now, that's a fire jersey,
Oh
like
yeah.
super badass. I was looking at
Yeah.
I was surfing the internet yesterday during the match itself, and I saw one sweatshirt that said "My heart is filled with black" or something, and it was just part of the flag, and it had the
Yeah.
leaf on it. I was like, dude, it's fucking badass. Like, low key want to order it, and then I kind of almost just want to turn this into rugby support later. Like,
Eh,
I feel,
I think it's going to be like, I was talking with Vera, and I was like, after the warm welcome we got at that pregame and just how much we felt from that fandom, we're like, we got to go to New Zealand sometime. Like, we have to
oh
make it a
yeah,
point just to go visit, because what we experienced, and like I say, I don't know, I'm not going to speak on other country supporters, other like groups like this, but they were very welcoming of everybody.
Hmm.
There were quite a few non New Zealanders, but they were supporting a friend that was from New Zealand, or they just supported the club. They were welcoming, not really talking smack. I told them, I was like, hey, my first country I'm going to go for is USA. My country's not in it, El Salvador, where we're just not that great of a team right now. So
Hmm.
so welcoming and a friendly group, because I know sometimes it could, and especially in the sport of soccer, it could get a little reckless. Some of these fans are very rowdy, but like I
Yep.
say, New Zealanders, and I'm only going to speak on them. I'm not going to say it's all fan bases, but there might be some that isn't. Very friendly, and like I say, felt welcome, felt safe. Like I say, if they ever come here again and they do something like that, like I would honestly feel comfortable taking Keanu to it because of how friendly and welcome, and I wouldn't be scared that there's going to be a fight with them around.
Absolutely. No, it looked like just a great time. Everybody's just
Yeah,
happy to be there. You know,
yeah,
it's a team that I feel like, we could kind of almost consider up and coming. I feel
hmm,
like, you mentioned only draws. It's a smaller country, and I hope it's, something that will continue to grow. And um, you certainly got, two Americans on this podcast rooting for you guys. So,
yeah,
hopefully we can get something, honorary fandom of the Kiwis, because, the vibes looked immaculate. I just really, I like that laid back lifestyle they seem to take on. And I can just tell from the comments, everybody just
yeah,
seems really happy and,
yeah.
you know, there for the culture, the music.
Hmm.
Just a lot of comments about it. Me just
Yeah.
kind of looking, from the outside in, and and then your story kind of coinciding with that. I think it
Hmm.
sounds awesome. So
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, just weekly updates, I think, is just absolutely necessary
Yes.
for all things New Zealand. Hopefully, we can even pop in. They play again this weekend, correct? Or in
Yeah, I
the
think they
next few
play.
days?
I think they play Saturday, probably
Okay.
Friday or
Okay.
Saturday. Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they
No,
take
well,
on. I think they're taking on Egypt,
I think you're right.
which will be another tough challenge. But I think when we talked last week, at first I had Belgium getting out of their group, and then I think I said I had Egypt, New Zealand,
Mhm.
Iran. Um, the way Egypt, Belgium happened, I think of New Zealand. If we could get 3 points out of Egypt, which I think is possible, the way they played,
Yeah.
um, it's a big win. The momentum's on with them. Tim Payne, that momentum's still there.
Love
Uh,
it.
I see it happening more. And then, like I said, Belgium tying Egypt. You could say it's a little disappointing for them, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's there. I see Rob commenting a lot on the live.
Love it.
Uh, yeah, talking about Jimenez. Um, yeah, yeah, Wolfscott Jimenez. We
Yes,
talked
he's
about that a little
back.
bit. He's back. That's an exciting signing.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
goal, big goal for
yeah,
Mexico as well.
yeah. Big goal for
Um,
us.
yeah, loved it. Electric.
Yeah,
And see, my comfort level with the Wolves. Just quick little side tangent with that
yeah,
comment. I think we're back in a year. I think we're back in a year, and I'm fully confident in that. The addition of Jimenez, we did part ways with the coach.
yeah.
We are in search for the new coach. Coach seems fine with it. Saw a picture of him already on vacation, sipping on some wine. Good for him.
Yeah.
I hope we go out there, we find somebody who provides a good fit. But I think that a lot of the squad might stick around,
Hmm.
the way I'm kind of seeing it. Hopefully, a decent majority.
Yeah.
But just the addition of, if you're adding Jimenez at this point for a team that's not all the way up in the EPL, I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of people would kind of want to join that and go
Yeah.
along for the ride.
Yeah, yeah, and the story of Jimenez, when he was on the Wolves, his injury that almost was career ending, and like I say,
Mhm.
you mentioned it, Mexico, South Africa, the first game, Mexico winning 2-0, right? 2-0.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Jimenez scoring a goal. You can see how emotional it was for him, because he probably didn't know if he was going to be able to make it back to World Cup after that head injury. He needed, a lot of surgery, recovery. And now going back to the Wolves, it's a big one. So, Yeah, Rob Jimenez, that's a good one. T- Rob says Japan's his B team.
Okay.
That's a yeah,
Yeah. No, we
not
talked
bad.
about South Korea. South Korea looked very good, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In their first match down in Mexico City. Um, Winners of that match, I believe, right? I think it
yeah.
was 2-1.
2-1. South Korea winning that one.
Yeah, Japan, we talked about them. They seem no nonsense, not scared of anybody.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that with that South Korea match, just to
Hmm.
kind of touch bases on that as we kind of go through these matches. There were some players that maybe fell. They thought South Korea was maybe being a little bit too aggressive at points.
Hmm.
South Korea, full of savages,
Yeah,
just fucking badasses. I saw them. They're like, yeah, like just
that's
stepping over them, like kind of get up wimp, like what are you doing? Like talk, like willing to talk that talk.
yeah,
And I really appreciated that because it backs up with what we talked about last week. The coach was like, yeah, we're not afraid, you know,
yeah,
ready
yeah,
to face you mano a mano.
yeah. And they shouldn't be afraid. That's a solid squad. So what they're gonna have a tough. They play Thursday, South Korea, Mexico. Big game for that
Ooh,
group. Um,
yeah.
I think that's why Rob says watching it at a bar on Thursday. I think we'll have to try to see if we can make it happen. Go
Yeah,
out
where are we
somewhere.
going? Where are we
Yeah,
going? We got to go.
yeah, yeah. We got to go,
What
but
time? 6?
it probably I would have to look what time
Night
the
matches.
yeah,
Hooky?
but
Play
yeah.
hooky for the day?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
but yeah, Mexico, South Africa, and I think the last thing Rob sort of says, yeah, at 6.
Okay.
Mexico national team almost made him cry. Yeah, and like I said, that's the one thing I'll say with like New Zealand. Like my country, the home country I support, El Salvador, isn't in the World Cup. But how much I've given to New Zealand since I knew I was going to the game, since we came on their fandom.
Hmm.
I didn't know their national anthem, but still the chills, the feels I felt. There were times I wanted to like cry just because it was amazing, and I
Wow.
like I said, I think that's what brings so many amazing fans, and you see it in the stands. I was watching the Argentina game today.
Hmm.
Argentina won 3-0. Messi hat trick. We could talk a little bit
Unbelievable.
about his goatness, but you can see the fans there just to be part of that, hearing their national anthem at a World Cup, and especially for Argentina, a team that's come in to try to repeat. Those fans, that's everything to them. It means so
Hmm.
much, and I see it a lot. So I know Rob doesn't like Argentina. Mexico's not big of us talking about Argentina.
Where's Ronaldo's
But
hat trick, Rob? Didn't see it
well,
yet.
tomorrow we'll see. We'll
They
see if
haven't
we can
played.
do
I
it.
know. But yeah,
But
he looks sick today.
yeah,
I can't lie, Rob. Can't lie.
okay,
Messi looked like a fucking goat out there. He looked like
yeah.
a badass.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, it was good. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I say, I think if Rob would go to like Mexico City or just seeing the Mexico national team, for you, if you'd go to a German national team, having
Hmm.
those German roots, just being there, it unlocks something in your mind and your brain. I don't know what it is that just lets all those feelings out, and it's a feeling that
Hmm.
you'll never experience any other way. So
We talk a little bit about cultures. We've talked a little bit about my ancestry. Um, I feel like I could feel that with like 10 different European countries, John. Just like, some type of history. I
yeah,
was trying to screenshot it. I don't know if you can screenshot ancestry because it wasn't letting me send it. But I was looking up because, maybe we'll get into it right now with
yeah.
Scotland. But I was like, I have a decent percentage of Scottish blood in me. I'm like, the vibes in Boston, the Red Sox game at
Yeah.
Fenway, the chanting, the singing, they kept singing walk 1,000 miles,
Hmm.
and it just kept going on and on and on. They're walking through
Yeah.
the city with, bagpipes, just badass. Everybody's wearing their kilts
Yeah.
everywhere. Beer's probably just being destroyed, probably record drinking beer going on this weekend over there. And you just bring up a super valid thing about like what the World Cup can bring, the introduction of cultures. Um, it's another one to pinpoint was, the Netherlands, like sea of orange, right? Going
Yeah.
through St. Louis,
Hmm.
Jameis Winston getting involved in it,
Yeah.
and just the dance that they have going, the chants. You never would have thunk it, just
Yeah.
seeing that in Midwest United States.
Yeah.
All that going on. It just cultures colliding,
Hmm.
um, and I've seen a lot of I think eye-opening moments when it comes to foreigners traveling to the U.S. because I think, not to get political, I just think that there's this perception of the U.S. in the world,
Yeah.
and I think they come here to the U.S. They see that most Americans are very courteous people
Yeah.
and very welcoming, and enjoy stuff like this. So,
Yeah.
and they're coming here. There's several accounts that are like big gulps. Never tried it. Amazing. Chili's, sampler platters, bottomless margaritas. Like,
Uh,
we got it. We
it's
got it.
insane.
Come more often. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just badass.
Yeah,
And
it is.
you mentioned it with the national anthems with New Zealand, and it's just maybe you haven't experienced it yet. It brings
Mhm.
tears to your eyes. I think it's just an incredible feeling. Rob mentions it. With Mexico, incredible. You
Yeah.
just it's all unity. Soccer, I think it just might be that sport that just brings everybody together.
Yeah. I think it is. Like I say, not many you see many people talking smack about it, saying it's a boring sport, but what this brings internationally is sort of what the Super Bowl brings just to us here in the USA, but at a larger scope because like I say, it's your bloodlines, for a lot of people, like you, English, maybe English, Scottish, German,
Irish,
Irish, you said you might have
Denmark,
some
Netherlands.
some Islander because
Yeah,
a commenter has the same last name as you, with an extra
yeah,
M, so it's
love it.
like you never know, how much one country means to someone, and especially some countries that have gone through so much, and this might be the only time they're in the World Cup. We'll talk about it a little bit right now. It is Curacao, so Germany versus Curacao. Germany
Mhm.
did what they needed to do. They won 7-1. Not a surprise, but that one goal Curacao scored to tie it 1-1
Mhm.
at the beginning, it was electric. You can see the fans crying in the stands because this is a country, such a small country that never made it to the World Cup, making it and scoring against a giant like Germany.
Mhm.
It's life changing, and it like I said, I had the feelings for those fans when that happened. How excited I was watching it here in the living room. Amazing. So like I say, I think that's what the World Cup brings, and people that say they're not a fan, I I hope you take some time to watch some games, hear the story, see the fans, and see how much they care about this game and how much it unites fans. Because, like I say, the one thing with like me going to the game, New Zealand versus Iran, like I say, I was celebrating, but when I left, I was shaking Iran Iran player or Iran fans hands, giving them fist bump,
Mhm.
hey, good game, and they were the same, very respectful, very nice. I think I told her I think they had a lot of respect for me for standing up for my team, my squad. Because like I say,
Mhm.
I was the only one cheering for New Zealand in that area, and like I say, I didn't back down. But I think there was some respect for that because also when they scored, I respected them because the goals they scored also were very nice. Some of those
Mhm.
goals they scored. So um, I think it's great. So, but yeah, like I said, Curacao, a great story. Scoring one goal, yeah, they lost 7-1, but that's something they'll remember for history. And who knows, they could still do well.
Mhm.
Another team that you could say that played that we'll remember will be in the history books a bit. Uh,
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Yeah, the
0-0
goalie.
draw versus Spain. Yeah, that goalie, 40-year-old,
Mhm.
he went from like, have you seen his Instagram followers from like
Oh,
200K up to like 4 mil?
yeah. There's a really
Anytime you
cool
check in,
graphic where they just showed the ticker of it going up throughout the
they,
game. Went up to what, 2.5 million from
yeah,
like 20,000?
I think he's at
Unreal.
like 4 million by now. I think last I
Well
saw.
deserved too.
Yeah, well deserved. Like I was talking to Chris. I was like, hey, that dude just has to post a bunch of videos right now and make that money because I know
Hell yeah.
he's probably retiring from soccer soon. So take advantage of it. But
Hmm.
like that story too, Cape Verde. I don't think they've been at the World Cup ever. Going to the World Cup and drawing against probably the favorite and the team I picked to win it, Spain as well. Amazing for them. I
Hmm.
gave I think it was like reaching like the 80th minute, and I was at a point where like I want Cape Verde to win. I just want them to
Hmm.
score because what Spain did was embarrassing to them, to that country. Um, no one saw it. It concerns me about Spain because, like I say, they couldn't do anything
Hmm.
against this team that they should have handled pretty easily. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that like I said, that's another story.
Is Rob still in your life?
Uh, I don't see him on my live.
Damn it. I'll clip it and send it to him. I was gonna say I arguably might be passing Rob's soccer knowledge because
Oh,
if you remember correct, hot take already. Uh, remember, I was jokingly pretty close to choosing Cabo Verde to
yeah,
as a choice
yeah.
to win out in their group. It could have been a generational run mixing that with
It
New
could have
Zealand.
been.
I think the draw alone incredible,
Yeah,
incredible, win for Cape Verde altogether. The goalie, phenomenal
hmm,
performance, phenomenal recognition that he's getting currently.
yeah,
I think that's freaking awesome. You look at the other side of the ball, Spain, disappointing at first. I think a lot of these powerhouses, minus a couple like Germany, kind of getting off to some slow starts. A lot of
hmm,
draws, a lot of low scoring matches
yeah,
that maybe they weren't expecting. Maybe just have to kind of get in a groove.
yeah,
As we move forward, didn't really see it from Argentina.
yeah,
Complete control of that game altogether.
hmm,
Um, Talk Messi's hat trick.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah,
One goal by the half by halftime comes out of the second half. I could tell there was like a certain kind of aggressiveness to Messi that
hmm,
this dude's attacking. This dude's all
hmm,
about it. He wants that hat trick. I think he wants to put his full effort out there for his
yeah,
last World Cup. What we're all thinking here, and
hmm,
I think with that hat trick, he's now tied for the most goals in World Cup history. So with
yeah,
16,
yeah. I think he's tied with the German,
the German.
the German. It's not closer. Is it closer? It might be
Yeah,
closer.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he tied with that. Like I say, Ronaldo's really right behind him. And
Mm-hmm.
Mbappe most likely could break that in within the next few World Cups because he's still a youngster. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think what Messi did was, and I think it's probably some of the naysayers who still doubt the World Cup last year, Messi's contribution because a lot of Messi's goals last World Cup came from penalty kicks. So
Mm-hmm.
how much that and there's a lot of people saying like game shouldn't end in penalty kicks. It's the worst way to end a final or even a game. But I think he's here to prove something and to show that their win probably wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like collusion, anything like that. And yeah, he played amazing. What Argentina did, Algeria, they should have won it for sure. It
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have been no discussion about it. And I think what sort of made them be really pushing is seeing some of these other games. Like I say, Spain versus Cape Verde. I was telling Chris, I was talking to him today. Um, because we do our little sports betting prize picks underdog
Mm-hmm.
here in California, all we could really do. But he asked in our larger group text message, is there people throwing games? And you could say yes or no. Why these big teams aren't winning? Could it be them playing with the odds and that? I honestly think what Spain did is more analytical. I think they felt like it was an easy game and they could have played it without their starters. I mean, Yamal didn't come in till what was it, 75th, 80th minute, only played like 15 minutes. When Lamine Yamal was playing, they looked like a totally different Spain team and they were getting so many more shots and chances. But like I said, but that was a little too late, and that was too much of
Mhm.
their confidence. And I think Argentina saw that, and they're like, "Hey, we can't let off the gas pedal. We got to go full force because it's only 3 games. You drop one, you're in big trouble."
Absolutely. Yeah, kind of odd. Just I don't know if it's strategic, saving them for later games. Maybe España kind of thought it was going to be one of those matches that they could easily slide by. It wasn't the fact. They didn't really make the adjustments to
Yeah,
try to get there by putting in a guy like Yamal. So
yeah,
um, uh, we'll see how it goes going forward. Obviously Spain still a powerhouse. Your favorite to kind of take over and win this World Cup. Lots of soccer left to be played as far as it goes all together. But this opening round, just perfect,
yeah,
just perfect from all aspects. I
yeah,
think it's perfect from small stories to fan interactions, cultures colliding,
yeah,
chaos on the pitch, with some of these draws and,
hmm
possible upsets.
yeah,
Super, super cool. I love all of
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think a few more to touch on: Canada versus Bosnia Herzegovina, a tie. I think that's a disappointing draw for Canada. I mentioned
Hmm.
Bosnia probably being like the number 2 group out of there. They could
Yep.
be number 1 after this outcome. Canada didn't look that great,
Hmm.
so we'll sort of see. Disappointment for the host nation to not win the first game, where USA Mexico did win.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, for me, I think that was a disappointment result for Canada.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Disappointing for sure. Not what they had hoped. Of course, as you mentioned, in respects to the other host nations, kind of coinciding, United States looked fantastic.
Yeah,
4-1 over Paraguay.
yeah,
Um, Really just great effort altogether. This is a U.S. team that we haven't seen in a while.
yeah,
It's I think we gotta keep our heads even keeled. We
yeah,
can't get too overhyped with it. Um, we know our history
yeah,
with this. Also, just wanted to shout out one fellow guy that's losing hair to another, Landon Donovan. Really appreciate. I don't know if you saw this, Sean. He did full on documentary style with getting a hairpiece.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Low key, what if I did it? I was like, I'm like,
Uh,
I just can't pass it up with anybody.
yeah,
So I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna represent the bald. But
yeah,
I respect it. He's on TV. Maybe one day if we're on TV, and stuff like that.
yeah,
As we go, it'd be just kind of a fun thing to do. But super, super cool. Glad he's out there commentating it. But the
yeah,
hair looks great.
yeah.
Luscious,
Hey.
like he was back in the early 2000s. Fantastic
Yeah,
look.
yeah. Her looks great. A lot of people, I think it was some big news. If you see some of his
Mhm.
other pictures of his hair, he had
Oh
some
yeah.
pretty bad looks. So
Yep.
so this is a lot
I
better
know how it
look
feels.
for him. But yeah, I think the one thing USA, and I see a lot of fans, a lot of people talking, a lot of us USA fans, there's a lot of us that have our heads up in the cloud thinking we're unstoppable.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I mentioned Paraguay being a very good defensive team, which they are. This is a team that beat Brazil, that beat Argentina in the
Hmm.
CONCACAF. So if you could beat those two squads, you are a solid squad. And we destroyed Paraguay. Could have been nerves for Paraguay playing in the USA, pro USA crowd, like majority of it, maybe. But what we did was great. Pulisic hopefully isn't hurt too badly. That's why he went off on the
Mm,
after the first half. That kick
yep.
to the calf. Um, but like I say, but our team looks good. I think the one one storyline I like from this, Gio Reyna. Like I say there was a lot of controversy him being on the team. Hasn't been fit for this last about like year and a half. But this is a player. I was talking to my brother-in-law. I've always liked Gio Reyna as a player. I truly think if Gio Reyna could stay healthy and plays at his club level, he probably is one of our best players in the U.S. I think he
Hmm.
could be better than Pulisic, and he is a lot younger than Pulisic. He's just been hit with the injury bug. What happened at the last World Cup too was a lot of drama that probably hurt him. But this guy technically it is so solid. I enjoy his gameplay and the way he scored that goal at the end of the game. Not many people could take a shot like that and that great. I hope this kid gets more of an opportunity because I think he has a lot to give and is a good piece for the USA.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's seems like a lot of pieces are coming together for this squad. And you know, decisions were made that we thought were kind of questionable kind of heading into this tournament altogether. Uh but the way things kind of clicked this first game, it's kind of tough to argue against a lot of that. Um so especially when it comes to Diego Luna, that's kind of the main talking point on that
Yeah.
topic. Um so tremendous outcome. It's all we could have asked for at this point. So
Yeah.
I hope that they can keep it up, like you mentioned. Hopefully, Pulisic is getting healthy.
Hmm.
Calves of steel,
Yeah.
hopefully, and nothing but a flesh wound. Hopefully, it was something where they thought, "Hey, we're in control of this match.
Hmm.
Pull him, and just let him rest."
Yeah.
Don't know if you saw. Uh, Freaking Diego Luna going on a stream, basically, kind of talking a
Oh, yeah.
little bit about his cut. He mentioned the fact of possibly joining another country. He said that he mentioned something about a one-time change. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that's still a possibility for him.
I think there is a way possibly to do it. I did see it with Chicos Toxicos.
Yep.
Shout out to them. I've always enjoyed the content they've come from the ground up. For me, why I also like them. Like I think it's totally different than what we do, and but I like seeing what they're doing because it's a Hispanic type podcast and also just vlogging channel that
Hmm.
they do. But it is possible, but I think he's going to really look at his options because, like I say, is it worth it to go to Mexico? What Mexico talents there? It could be hard to break through. Whereas USA, same thing. It's always going to be hard to break through, and I think what he needs to do is just continue playing, trying to play his best. I was listening. I forget where I was listening it to, but I I I heard that a lot of USA players stayed in the MLS because they were getting offers to play in Europe and go play at a European club, but they didn't want to because they weren't sure how much exposure they were going to get, how much playing time they were going to get in Europe. Whereas if they stayed in the MLS, they knew they were going to play, they were going to be able to show their skills. And like I say, I think the one thing Diego Luna needs to do is if he's getting offers from Europe, go play in Europe because even not playing as much, game time, you're gaining the experience of playing with other international stars and not trying to put down the MLS. MLS is a B squad. It's pretty much G League compared to European clubs in the EPL and in the Premier and the Primera League, the Spanish Premier League, the Italian league, even like the German, French leagues. MLS cannot manage those type of clubs. So I think what some of these players need to do is not worry too much about playing time, but just trying to break through a club because if you break through into a European club the way the players that we have are in European clubs, you might be a lot more considered for a national team than staying in the MLS.
I second that. Yeah, I a lot of Rob's been a very big advocate, alongside yourself, John, with my learning process with a lot
Yeah.
of soccer, football, and you know through that it's watching different levels
Hmm.
of Major League Soccer itself. So we watched, I think it was like LAFC
Hmm.
versus somebody, and watched that match. I think Armando happened to be always an LAFC fan, so I think
Hmm.
that's why we're watching them. We saw that speed. Then that took us into YouTube watching those 20-minute replays of EPL
Hmm.
soccer and Spanish League. And just going from MLS to that, just the speed
Oh yeah.
alone is considerable. Like anybody would notice it. And it's
Hmm.
like, wow, these dudes are twice as fast as what we just watched. And the accuracy of the kicks, the strength of the kicks, the speed of the running,
Yeah.
um, is yeah. It's minor league baseball to
Hmm.
Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
college baseball to Major League Baseball. It's just such a big difference. And in that you just get to learn that like you see what the real deal is and where the
Hmm.
talent truly lies, and it's definitely in Europe.
Yeah.
That might change one day. It's going to take a tremendous amount of time to get there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we, there's deep roots with that, and you did a great job covering that topic. I think we talked about it like a year ago. But when it comes to European soccer altogether, I think you bring up a great point when it comes to players like Diego Luna, because do you go to Europe and learn from the best?
Hmm.
We talk about um, let's use Aaron Rodgers as an example with the NFL, sitting behind Brett Favre for a number of years, learning from him,
Hmm.
and then he comes in and creates his own Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
It's happened a ton of times. So,
Yeah.
um, same thing goes for this. Sometimes all it takes is this backpedaling, learning a
Yeah.
little bit, getting some opportunities to learn to play at that level, and
Hmm.
then being a beast when it comes to international play. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's the route he goes. He gets the opportunity to do that because there's talent there. We all know it.
Hmm.
But the thing he has going for him is he's very young. So
Yeah. Yeah.
plenty more of soccer to be played in his career with as far as Diego Luna goes.
Yeah, yeah. Still very young. Still will have a few World Cup opportunities. So yeah, I hope he goes to Europe, continues to build on his career and his skills because he has a lot of great skills. And like I say, I think that's what U.S. And I would say even Mexico, like they have to start letting their players go play in Europe because if you look at World Cup winners, a majority of those players in those leagues either play in big European clubs or in the big European clubs, and very few play in the local clubs. And like I say, Mexico is full of a lot of players that play in the Mexican national or the Mexican league, and same with the U.S. They all play in the MLS, and you got to move out of there because it isn't as elite of a league compared to those. And yes, it's going to take many years to get to the level of a Chelsea, a Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man U, Arsenal, PSG, Byron. And but while until that time comes, these players have to continue going to Europe and building their skills because they'll learn a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's where it's at.
Yeah.
Um, are we nearing final points on this Wolfpack check-in altogether, John, or do we have more
Yeah.
matches to cover?
I think the last one I sort of want to, or the last two, Brazil
Mm-hmm.
Morocco 1-1 draw. Uh, I think I had
Mm.
Brazil as my team that wasn't going to get out, and
Yep.
as of right now, it's not looking too good for them. They didn't look great against Morocco. Morocco's a solid squad though, but
Yeah.
Brazil they should have done more for the hype that they have around them. I think Morocco was your dark horse to make a
Yep.
long run, and they're looking really good to make that run.
Looking really good. Yeah. And I also noticed on social media Neymar was getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Just his selection altogether, who they left out, and maybe the people that they left out, if they were in, could have had a different result.
Mhm.
Is what a lot of people are saying. the draw was there, good for them. But yeah, it's your take's looking good too, John.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's looking good. My other take isn't looking that great. I had Turkey being my dark horse. They lost 2-0 to Australia. I think Turkey was way too confident with this game. I think they thought it was going to be an easy win for them against Australia, but the Socceroos, that's a dangerous squad, so they got humbled. And it's going to make the group with the U.S. a lot more dangerous because Turkey, like I say, Turkey's still a solid squad. They have a good core. They have a lot of good young players, and they can't drop another game. So, like I say, this group is, I still think, the group of death for me, the USA group.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially just the way Australia came out and won it.
Yeah.
It seemed that I thought maybe middle of the pack is looking like a force in the division, and when you have stuff like that, group of death sounds very fitting. Love that name, the Socceroos. Been hearing a lot of that this weekend.
Yeah.
So badass.
Yeah.
Love that. And then I just have a couple. I have a question for you, John.
Okay.
That I'll end with, and then my comment in something that I've always found really fascinating and really cool is just the impeccable manners and tradition of manners that Japan has.
Yeah.
Year after year, doesn't matter the sport really. Soccer's more pronounced with when it comes to World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything from the fans cleaning up their section after the game to the players leaving the locker room more tidy than it was when they arrived is incredible. Huge shout out to Japan just for common courtesy and just manners. Just experts in all of it.
Yeah. What they do, it's amazing. I don't think many other countries do that. I think some other people from other countries, when they see them start doing it, they start helping. But they're the pioneers of that. Even the team keeping the locker room clean. Totally appreciate it. I think it's an amazing story, and it's something they've always done. It's not just them trying to get news. It's just what that country has done, those fans and players have done, and I think that's why there's a lot of people that really support them and like them because honestly, the workers that are already working in the stadium, they're working hard. And just that little gesture means a lot to some people. So I totally appreciate it.
Yeah, because in turn, that just turns into, really any of the stadium workers being able to go home to their families a little bit quicker, to less cleanup to do and incredible stuff. Really loved it. So shout out Japan there. Final question that I have for you, John, is we're a podcast that enjoys our drinks. Here we start off our podcast with it.
Yeah.
When it comes to New Zealanders, the Kiwis, any particular bev that they were kind of was a go-to, or were they just aiming at American beer and trying it out?
I saw a lot of Pacifico Modelo. That ran out pretty
Love
quickly.
Yes.
It's what I wanted the most. And every time I would go to a bar, I was like, nope, we're out. I think they had to bring a few cases up, but they got dried up pretty quick. I think towards the end, I was having a Coors Banquet because that was pretty much all there was left.
Yep.
But they drank that place dry.
Love it. Love it. Seems like that's just the common theme, from Boston with the Scots to all the way out west here with really any of the clubs playing out here. You're in LA. Mexican beer's big deal out here. Love it with the Modelo and Pacifico because those are honestly my go-tos for just common regular beer. I really skip over a lot of the American beers in all honesty, unless it's an IPA. But they did right. Good for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
They did it right. And honestly, I think when I looked at the group stages, I sort of looked at all the games in Boston. Boston better have the country start sending them so much beer from other states,
Mm.
because they already started running out of beer probably with Scotland, and then they had Norway today. Norway, if you've seen some of those fans, the way they're all
Mm.
rowing in the stadium, amazing. The way they're all
Incredible.
like the Nordic rows are like, you see them all in sync. It is an amazing scene to see. Um,
Yeah. So badass. So you
yeah,
sent me the clip of that too,
yeah,
maybe about a week ago,
yeah,
and incredible. It puts the U.S. chant to shame, if even if we want to call it that.
yeah,
It's just we need to skip it. We need to stop that.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
stop it.
Just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Um, but like I say, they have Scotland versus Morocco on the 19th. You know,
Oof.
that's already a big drinking game. Uh, then the 23rd, England versus Ghana. The British are coming, and you know, British people,
Ooh.
it's gonna get crazy in Boston. Um,
Yes. The
and
Boston Tea
then
Party.
the Boston Tea Party 2.0.
Yep.
And then one of the last group stage matches, they have Norway and France. So
Ooh.
from what
Ooh.
I've seen right now, probably the best state that has the best games. Like I say, most electricity.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like it. Sounds like it. In well deserved. I mean, Boston, just a ton of you know UK roots,
Yeah.
European roots. Um, so it makes sense. God, I'm sure it's electric over there. Where are the what stadium are they playing these games at?
Um,
Is it
what is
Fenway?
it?
No.
No, it's what is it? Foxborough. It's Patriot Stadium
Oh yeah, that's
or
right.
Gillette,
Badass.
whatever it is.
Yeah, Gillette. Yeah,
Gillette. Yeah, yeah.
Tom
I
Brady
always
Stadium.
Tom Brady Stadium.
Might as well.
They probably call it Tom Brady Stadium.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, maybe they'll call it Good Nut Stadium uh, for his new Bev.
it could
Makes
be.
sense. Good nut.
Yeah, couldn't. But yeah, like I say, and like I say, seeing the Scottish fans, I keep on seeing the reports and it comes up on my timeline. I don't know if I sent it to you. Those guys, the bar's opening at 9:30. They're lining up a whole crowd at 8 a.m. and they're drinking
Oh
all
yeah,
day. It's insane.
yeah. Did you have? I think you shared it with me, if I'm not mistaken. They're drinking the plains dry on the
Oh
way in. They ran out
yeah,
probably not even halfway through.
yeah,
So they're asking, where's the local pubs already? Um, just I I don't know how they do it.
yeah.
Just the capacity, the they are the marathon runners of the beer game.
Oh yeah.
Incredible, ultra
Yeah,
marathoners, I should say.
ultra marathoners. Yeah, so I don't know.
Incredible.
Boots on the ground out there in Boston reporting podcast. Let us know how it's going.
Minor,
How
Minor,
you know,
our
yeah,
friend group Minor.
yeah,
His name's Minor. He lives out that way. Gotta let us know. Boots
yeah,
on the ground, Boston.
yeah, yeah. Because
Sounds amazing.
they're even going to Red Sox games, and I'm seeing how
Yeah,
crazy those Red Sox games are getting. So
loudest it's
that's
been all
awesome.
season because they kind of stink.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what they need.
It is what they need. But yeah, that's soccer takes. That's all I got for today. Anything else from you, Tim?
No, I just love it. This is in the past when it comes to World Cup growing up, paid a lot of attention to when Italy won it. Just with my Italian roots, I'm literally a mutt. If I haven't said it enough, I am a mutt when it comes to just nationalities. Got into it there. The every World Cup, I feel like I would only watch when a particular team would play, or depending on like how far they are in it. This time around, I feel like I am finally gaining a true appreciation of how fucking awesome the World Cup is. Just absorbing as much as possible. Just getting my full cable back, paying it again, and just loving it.
Yeah,
Great timing for it. So,
yeah.
shout out World Cup. It's been a hell of an experience. Thank you for sharing your experience, Sean.
Mhm.
From yesterday, sounds amazing. Once in a lifetime kind of vibes. Super sick. Love
Yeah,
it.
no, super sick. And honestly, mentally, I'm telling myself, New Zealand makes it out of this group stage. I may make a commitment and go wherever they play.
Ooh.
I may make that commitment, even though
Love it.
they may not win it. Getting out of group stage, I don't know. I'm full New Zealander this World Cup.
Yeah. I might have to join you.
Yeah,
It'd be really good for the podcast. It would
It
be
would be.
really good. Because honestly, day oneers here.
Yeah.
It's it. Got to get my jersey though, because that jersey's sick.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. But that is our Wolfpack World Cup check-in, and we'll go into our banter takes. So this is our takes for the week. This is no prepping with these takes, no warnings, no idea what's coming next. So each week we're bringing out our hottest takes to the table without telling each other beforehand. So every reaction, every disagreement, and every meltdown is completely real. Some takes will be smart, some takes will be terrible, and at least one of us will probably upset an entire fan base. So we'll get into the takes. My first take, here it is. 80s music vibes are back, but not for everyone. Yeah, I think music wise, 80s is making a comeback. Just that techno-ish type of like sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting so popular, and I think some of the help you could sort of say is maybe like Coachella, because I heard a lot of 80s music at Coachella. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
guests that they brought out, they were from the 80s. Madonna, Smashing Pumpkins maybe like closer to early 90s, but still around that generation. Some of that music that people don't remember and some of these young kids don't. Um, it's an amazing vibe. I still enjoy listening to it. I enjoy listening to techno from the 80s. I don't know why. But the music from back then, early 90s, is a vibe. But I did see it was Tiger. Tiger? No.
Yeah, I have two
Is it
names.
Tiger?
Yeah, it is Taiga. That
Yeah.
maybe it's not back for everybody.
Yeah.
And then yeah, not back for
Yeah.
everybody. It's
Yeah.
Taiga.
Yeah, so that Tiger one like video you sent me, and I was like, oh yeah, it's not for him, and I will say it's not for everybody. Like I say, you can't expect you to be a musical artist. Can't hit every genre. I think we've talked about it with Post Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing at his rap, R&B, whatever genre pop that he was, but I'll be honest, him going into country hasn't been it for everyone. And I even think some of
Mm-hmm.
his fans haven't been the biggest fan of just what the music sounds like. So like I say, it's not always for everybody. Not not everybody could do the Beyonce and cross genres and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Beyonce won, best country album. I still question that decision, but hey, she did it. Kudos to her. But yeah, this Tyga one, like I say, stick to what you're good at. Experiment on other genres and other styles. But if it isn't working and it's not hitting well, just move on and go back to your bread and butter. Because if you continue trying to push it down the consumer's throats, it's not going to end up well for you.
Not at all. And Post Malone remains the perfect example of the crossover truly just doesn't work, for a lot of people. I kind of miss the days of, one of my favorite songs growing up was Tim McGraw and Nelly over and over again,
Yeah,
and Nelly stayed in his lane with the rap vibes to the song. Tim McGraw did a fantastic job with, the main chorus with the country vibes he brings.
yeah,
And, later in his career, obviously Nelly's tried country, and I
yeah,
don't think it's caught on really at all. Everybody wants his throwbacks, his classics,
yeah,
and that's pretty much all they want to hear. Um, me being one of them. We just talked about Post Malone. I miss his, original stuff. I don't think country is fully it for him. I think that you stay in your lane in a way that maybe try it out for a song or two, and then, or maybe an album, and then kind of hop back, or you keep the rap vibes but collab with country artists. And I think that kind of fits a bit better. I know he's from Texas, so I'm sure maybe some type of root is there growing up with it. And maybe that's what he kind of went for, and yeah. But 80s music, for one, isn't for everybody. I think Tyga is one I think of, Pass Me the Hookah. It's just like such a 2010 song. Something I jammed to when I'd be on
Yeah.
my way to a hookah lounge, 15 years ago. Good times. In him, the beat just didn't sound it. And then hearing him rap over that beat, I was like, how is this 80s? Like, it
Yeah.
just doesn't sound good. But the artist that was collabing with him, I think, is where he's kind of hit something good. His name is Remix Flexin, and he has a hit. I think it's called like Rubbers, if I'm not mistaken, or Rubber Bands. I forget what it's called. But I've just been kind of jamming to it the last few days. My FYP is filled with him popping up, people listening to a song, giving their reaction. I think it's gotten pretty good reaction altogether. A lot of people saying it's AI though. A lot of people saying his voice is AI in it.
You never know.
You never know. But I think that's also, you can get fooled by AI, but then you can also get fooled by generations, Sean, where I feel like that we have a lot of these, these youngins coming through and everything these days is, oh, that's AI, that's AI, that's AI, where it's like they're spamming that kind of comeback, where it's like, let's not forget what auto-tune is as well. We can't fall too far behind. So it sounds like him, in my opinion, but obviously with a lot of tuning to it. Totally fine. Everybody does it. So, good stuff so far. I think that there's a full album of 80s vibes on it, and I kind of appreciate it. And what I also want to hear, John, is I want to hear this song in the new GTA. I want it uploaded instantly, because a big part of what I'm thinking, as far as we're only a few months away from, cross our fucking fingers.
Yeah.
I hope we're only a few months away from GTA, because we all need it. We need it. But I really want to know what kind of music they threw in there. Very curious. And I'm also curious to see like if there's going to be updates with the music constantly. I think that's always something that we look forward to. They've done it at times, I think, with GTA 5 online. We've heard some new songs pop in and out. So interested in that. But this sounds straight up like a GTA
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think they have to do more collabs. Like I say, Tyga needs to do it for a bit, see how it goes. If you're successful at it, go back to it. But like I say, from the sounds of it, it wasn't the best. It's something he should maybe collab with them to still do his thing, but mix in that 80s. But yeah, I think, sort of going to GTA, it's the one thing they need to do is update the songs. Do things maybe every month, have a little mixture of songs and mix it so it's always a little different, because I think it's what we always like. I think a lot of us learned a lot of new songs, heard a lot of new songs that got really popular from it. But I'm like, you guys could do so much with it and build up new artists. Have people that want to put their music on there pay you. Get more money, Rockstar. Find a way to build off of this for your own wallet, because I know that's what the goal is in the end. But it's like anybody that plays their song in GTA, you're gonna get downloaded thousands, maybe even millions of the time, because there's so many players.
Absolutely. If I'm an artist, I want my song on there.
Yeah.
Just like the millions upon millions of people that are going to be playing that game. Yeah, I want my song plastered all over that freaking video game. When we saw Diplo do the blimp over Coachella, is that a foreshadowing, you think, for maybe a nightclub DJ possibility?
It could be. I think a lot of the DJs that were like in GTA 5 were sort of tailored after a real one, but I could see Diplo, because he's one of the like most sought out after artists, and also just very open to a lot of collaborations. He might put himself into that video game.
Yeah, can't blame him. I'd do it too. Because he's everywhere. Seems like a really cool guy. has hit after hit too. So, and then follow-up question with this, Sean, is there an era of music that you would like to see maybe a new rendition of, or make a good solid comeback with new artists?
I don't know. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
think. Maybe like the 2000s, like the 90s, 2000. All those club hits that we
Mm-hmm.
grew up on that sort of have gone away. Trying to come back and make those type of club hits again.
Mm-hmm.
I think would be great.
I completely agree. I'm thinking Juicy J. I'm thinking fucking Paul Wall makes a. I mean, he's everywhere still, but
Yeah.
like just those kind of vibes. Just making a solid comeback. Lupe Fiasco, we've talked about on this podcast, would be awesome. Yeah, mid 2000s, early 2010s, just undefeated for me as far as music goes.
Yeah.
I think that we all reminisce about high school days for music. Those were mine, and yeah, bring it back.
Yeah. No, I think that's when they should bring it back. Question. I know you're in San Diego. How was the
Oh yeah,
crowd?
good, good. I will say, funny you bring it up. So we stayed. We got there early. Got there around 9:30.
Yeah.
We left pretty early from LA to head down that way. Um, everything's great. Really fun time. Saw dolphins. Saw the killer whale show. Went on plenty of rides. Got really wet. I will say, Rob, complete and utter chicken shit. Didn't want to go on the water ride. Didn't want. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put you on fucking blast, Rob. Didn't want to go on the water ride. I will. I'll send you the clip of me going down the water ride, John. So insert clip here.
Okay.
He didn't want to go on that ride, and kind of let him have it. He's like, I don't like. He said he doesn't like the slow cranking rides that bring you to the top. And
Okay.
my head, I'm like, those are the best ones. Those are the best ones. I want to be on the edge of the cliff for a second, for quite a while. I want to know it. But it was a blast. It was so worth it. Theo was on it and just loved it. Like, dude has no fear of roller coasters. Adore him for that. Jen had a great time. Got super wet. I was second row. They were first. They got absolutely drenched. I wasn't as bad, but great times. And then as the day went on, we left the park, I think, after the Killer Whale show, probably around 5-ish, because we wanted to go back to the hotel, shower, get dinner. Saw the line to get into SeaWorld. You could absolutely tell that line was a bunch of people entering to go see Genuine.
I can imagine.
Yes, you're like, we know what you're here for. Make your way back to Genuine. Yeah, really funny. We all kind of were starting to, we all at the same time, we were all just kind of dying of laughter because, we kind of talked about it before, it's going to be, it's obviously Genuine throwback artist. And it's going to be people in their 40s wanting to come back and, jam to it. So that's exactly what we saw. So funny stuff. Didn't stick around for it. I think shout out Genuine. Very popular artist back in the day. Had some great hits. Just doesn't put me over the ledge of wanting to join that concert. E40 is going to be there soon. Would have loved that one. Would have loved that one. Paul Wall's going to be there soon. Bow Wow's going to be there. So big artists coming up. Really like what SeaWorld's doing. As far as these concerts go, because they're getting a lot of attention. And altogether, SeaWorld was packed. It was very, very crowded. So I think that there was a lot of talk maybe about SeaWorld, obviously, with the killer whale, stuff like that, documentary. And there was a time period where I feel like not a lot of people are going to SeaWorld. whoever's in charge of marketing and what they're doing with that park is doing a phenomenal job, because that park is filled to the brim. Great job.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of controversy, and like I said, I think they've changed a lot of stuff. The documentary Blackfish, if you haven't seen it, great documentary.
It is.
Did put me away from SeaWorld for a bit, but with a kiddo now that loves water, he enjoyed that place when we took him. I think it was last year we went, and like I said, it's for him. We find things that he likes to do, and we just got to continue doing it. And SeaWorld, unfortunately, is going to be a place. So it is a great park for him. Like I say, it's still, hopefully they start treating the animals better. It's a lot more of a good place, and what they're doing is more ethical. But yeah, I think what they've been doing since these summer concerts gets so much attention. And yeah, I can only imagine the line for it. I think
it's crowded.
When we went on a Sunday, so it wasn't as busy. But like I said, it was still a big crowd, a lot of people. Like I say, when it's hot, it's good. But yeah, I could only imagine, since you were there on a Saturday when the concert was there, it was probably getting ready to pop.
Yes, absolutely. Only failure of the day was not locating the dollar beer, but did enjoy a couple bevs while there. It was really hot, so that was great. Also won a stuffed animal twice the size of my daughter. She was thrilled about that. It was a pink seahorse. Proud of myself. Did the softball into the bucket game. Two in a row. Yeah. Super clutch rating 99. Clutch rating.
You're keeping it up after Dave and Buster's.
I'm keeping it up. It continues. They don't give out 100s for the ratings. No. I called and asked. Still rated a 99.
Yeah,
throwing it out there. Really good stuff.
It's max rating as of right now per the rating system. But
it is. It could be reduced once I'm under pressure on the golf course coming up here. That's going to be an issue. We'll work on it.
Yeah. Like I say, I think you'll separate the golf one compared to your other clutch rating. You know,
that's right. I should. Yeah, we do it for video games. We'll separate it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, that's 80s music. The vibe, like I say, I think it's coming back. A lot of old school artists are making a comeback. Also, a lot of old school artists are making tours again. So, because like even for me, Ventura County Fair is coming up end of July. Going to be attending 2 concerts. I'm going to a Marshmello, the EDM concert. Excited about that one. And then going to Ashanti and Bow Wow.
Love it.
Bringing it back to the old days. So that'll be fun.
Tickets still on sale, right?
Yeah. Like I say, for that, you could get VIP and you get a little section. It's more grass, like artificial grass instead of dirt. But your normal fair ticket gets you into the concert for free. You just have to wait in line, and hopefully it doesn't hit capacity.
Yeah. Might go VIP for that. Already talked to Jen about it. I want to go see Bow Wow. There's also another artist that I think they were more rock oriented. There's a couple good hits that they had.
Is it Hoobastank and Switchfoot?
It sure is. It's definitely them. Jen loves a few of their songs, and she was actually contemplating wanting to go that one as well. It's good. You know, it's great to see these artists come back.
Yeah, it'll be good. So continue vlogging, sharing those experiences with that. But I'll send you my first take for you.
Excellent. All right. The biggest winner of the World Cup so far isn't Argentina, Brazil, or France. It's Buc-ee's, Walmart, and Texas barbecue. Absolutely. We briefly talked on this topic. We're big foodies. Enjoy kind of getting after it for a lot of these things. During the WOLFPACK check-in, talked a little bit about big gulps, 7-Eleven trips, Chili's, you name it. But, Buc-ee's, obviously one that Californians we haven't experienced, but I think it's a big deal in the South, if I'm not mistaken, right? Florida, through Texas.
Through Texas.
I think that there's also some gas station collabs with Buc-ee's. Pretty badass. I'm pronouncing that right. It's Buc-ee's, right?
That's the way I say it. So
okay.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah, yeah. But because I'm low key fat ass, my FYP is full of food. I can't think of an analogy for FYP to convert it into food, but I'll think about it. But as far as like Buc-ee's go, I've seen just like their hot meals in like the way that they cut up prime rib. I think like chickens, turkeys, like
Brisket.
in brisket, dude. Yeah, it just it looks impeccable.
Yeah.
I think that they do like some shouting, some dancing with it.
Hmm.
It's a full show. They do it right. They do it right for sure, and it's definitely something that they want to experience. Anybody that's foreigners, even people just out of state like us. Like if I were going to
Hmm.
Texas, let me hit up a Buc-ee's. Let me hit up some of the Southern barbecue.
Yeah.
That's 1,000% what I'd do.
Yeah.
Then Walmart. Walmart's everywhere, but within the U.S., not as popular maybe elsewhere. Um, Walmart's just one of those stores where it's like, am I going to go in here for mortar oil or am I going to go find a loaf of bread?
Yeah.
It's just whatever the hell you need.
Yeah.
You go to Walmart. They just got everything.
Yeah.
Um, and they clearly went in there and experienced all of that, and they're like,
Yeah.
wow, like they just didn't know our game. I feel like they didn't know our game when it came to fast food. They didn't know our game when it came to supermarkets and
Yeah.
convenience stores and mega stores like Walmart. And the last item here was Texas barbecue in general. Like they just didn't know. Like
Hmm.
I think traditionally the way that America has seemed is like they think of our oversized drinks, like our large is just non-existent in Europe,
Hmm.
and they're small. Our small is their large,
Hmm.
from what I've heard. So they just can't believe that cup sizes go that big. So that's one. Um, Texas barbecue. I mean, this is going to be a little harsh. We might have the English after us again. If I look at the food from England, um, some of it looks okay. Some of it's like, eh,
Yeah.
might try something else. Just not a big fan. Looks like you just use something else.
Yeah.
But when they come here, they discover like just different possibilities with food. So Texas barbecue is definitely a big one of them. If you're here in LA, the best tacos and hot dogs that you're going to find within the states. I highly recommend just getting one straight off of the shopping cart.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Don't just go to enjoy Latino markets. I think as far as like tacos and
Yeah.
stuff like that, small hole in the wall places I think are kind of go to. Support your food trucks as well, like taco
Yeah.
trucks, street vendors. I think that's where you're going to find some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, just enjoy it, live it up. I can tell everybody is
Yeah.
just it seems to be nonstop. I saw a double decker bus of people from the Netherlands
Oh
driving
yeah.
through Dallas, Texas today. I think I sent you the clip.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's the best. So I hope
Yeah.
that they're going from one Buc-ee's to another. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then in Texas, this might be a vlog possibility in the future, John. They have that 96-ounce steak, I think, or it's like
Yeah.
90 something ounce.
Hmm.
I hope people are going through there as well.
Yeah. I think they are. I think it's great content, and it's not as good as Banter on the Rocks becoming Kiwi fans and Kiwi supporters, but
Right.
I think it's right up there with us. But like what they're doing and trying these food, and you hit it like right on the dot. Like they probably judged a lot of the food we would have here, like the Chipotle,
Burger.
Taco Bell, Chili's, like what kind of restaurant is this? The burgers. But once they try it, who knows if it's like MSG, something we put into our meat, but they're all falling in love with it. I saw this one post of these chicks eating Chipotle multiple times because they couldn't believe the way Chipotle was made, and I'm like, Chipotle hits a spot when it's a good
Yeah.
day. It hits a spot great, and you get full, and you can't have something like that. Like I would still prefer a street taco, and
Hmm.
or in a street burrito. But every now and then it's like all I got is Chipotle around here. It hits the spot. So you see them going to Buc-ee's, being so surprised on how big Buc-ee's is. They're like their gas stations are the size of like a mobile home, probably something like that. They're not as big. You know, seeing tasting the food that was in Buc-ee's, you know, Waffle Houses. I think they've gone to Chili's, Taco Bell.
Hmm.
I saw one of people going to Bass Pro Shops. You know, the one like in Las Vegas. That one's huge, dude. That's
Massive.
like with all the aquariums and stuff they have. It's like it's crazy, and I think they're experiencing it because these fans are going from one city to another to support their team, and throughout that you have to stop and get food, and it's like, hey, let's give it a shot, you know. And I think the funny one I always see is the Texas barbecue, because even before this I would see videos on TikTok of people making Texas barbecue for like kids from the UK, and they would look at it and they'll be like, oh, this looks burnt, you know, and like start
Hmm.
talking smack about it. But once they try it, they're like, oh, this is amazing. Like it just melts in your mouth, and it's like it's not something you see in Europe all the time.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's super cool. And I feel like roles reverse. We go to these other countries, experience their food. Like, I've done it. Like my honeymoon, we went to Cancun. We went to Chichen Itza. We went through. Our tour bus went through a small town on the way there.
Mhm.
Stopped and had some pork tacos that like
Mhm.
were traditional for the area. I wish I could eat that every day. Like I dream about those tacos and just how
Yeah.
phenomenal they were. And it was new to me, and I think I've had other dishes like that since here in the States.
Yeah.
Nothing's hit the same as the ones I had that day. I can speak to it.
Yeah.
Your brother-in-law Andy, being from the area, I've talked about those tacos to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, those are the real deal." So um, and it's absolutely incredible. And then another thing, what was I going to say? I was going to say, just the discovery of the food that we have to offer here. Also, just the fact that it's okay to, even ask for more food with your order as
Mhm.
well. You can go double meat at Chipotle, people
Oh yeah.
like you can add more on that bad boy.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to wrap up if you're getting a burrito, but they'll do it. They'll make it happen. Those
Yeah.
tortillas are made of something else,
Yeah.
glue. I don't know. You mentioned
Yeah.
MSG might just be glue, Elmer's
Yeah.
glue. We all ate it
Yeah.
at
It
one
could
point. I don't know.
be.
You know,
uh,
but it's stuff like that, and just such the wide variety of food that we have to offer here in the States.
yeah.
Like I just don't think that they were prepared for. Um, Dude, there was something else I was going to mention. I just totally blanked on it. Too much going through my mind with food.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. I think that it's awesome. I love seeing that these stories are, just it's turning into like a bigger trip than just soccer for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and you sort of mentioned it, like, yeah, where we might get a lot of pushback from European fans. Like when we look at their food, sometimes we question some of the food they eat. Like one thing I've seen a video, I'll see if I find it. I probably liked it at one point, but I question it because it's a loaded potato. Like this potato is like this size, and they cut
Hmm.
it up. They put cheese in, and in the video, he asked like, "What do you want on the potato?" This one dude, and like I said, it could just be a me thing. He says he wants tuna in it.
Yes,
Have
I
you
know.
seen
He has a food truck. He does lives.
it?
He has crazy
Yeah.
hair. Spudman.
I
Spudman.
I don't know if it was him, but
There
this
might
was
be a
another one.
couple.
Yeah, but he
Hmm.
like, and this is in Europe. I think it's England. A loaded potato with like cheese, sour cream, and then he's like, "I want tuna." And in my
That's
head, I
what I'm
was like,
talking about.
"Tuna with a potato." I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta try to see what it's all about. But I just questioned that from the get go because tuna with potato, it just doesn't sound delicious to me.
Yeah. No, and it's one of those things. We've all had potatoes. We've all had tuna.
Yeah,
I'm imagining putting the two together, and I just know I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
I just know it. It just doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard of people doing peanut butter and tomato sandwiches. I've heard of that. Like there's somebody I knew in high school that would
That's
do that.
interesting.
And I didn't get it. Like I don't know. There's been a really big I don't know if you've seen this, Sean, a really big discovery of ranch dressing. And it's not just for salads. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
or just ranch in general. They
Yeah.
don't, I guess they don't have any ranch in
No, they
Europe.
don't. Yeah, I think I've
None.
seen that.
And they're like, dude, that with fries. I've seen people
Yeah.
dip fries in a Frosty.
Yeah.
Haven't done it. I think that if you're doing like a milkshake challenge, because we have those, and then the French fries are a good like turn, like it just changes your palate a bit, and then you can go back to it. Just the discovery of all this stuff, I think it's incredible. And then also, I remembered what I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Anything is acceptable at any hour of the day here in America. If you want a freaking cheeseburger at 9:30 in the morning, you can find a place that would serve you a cheeseburger at 9:30 in the morning. It's completely normal. Nobody's really like, if I saw it, I'd be like a bit early, but I wouldn't bat too much of an eye at it.
No.
Like
no,
I get it sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're in the mood, you're in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one place you could go for it, Denny's. Denny's will have it for you.
There it is. All day.
There it is. All day breakfast, all day everything.
Yeah.
I think those visiting, try it at whatever time if that's what you're craving in the morning because your biological clock's still in England. It's 7 p.m. over there. Go for a burger. Don't feel like you're gonna get judged. You'll find a place. It's normal, but yeah, I think the one guy I've seen a lot that's gotten a lot of traction, Freddie LA7, the German guy.
Yes.
Doing all his videos.
Ella Langley invited him, I guess.
Yeah, Ella Langley, JJ Watt getting him set up in Houston with a hotel room for the game there. Like he's doing it right. And like I said, there's a lot of bloggers, vloggers, social media personalities from Europe doing that. And like I say, it's amazing. And even in Mexico. I think in Mexico you see a lot more of the Korean people because that's where a majority of their games are. They're enjoying their tacos and partying. I'm hearing rumors in 9 months there's going to be a lot of Mexican Koreans being born in the country of Mexico.
I love that. Yeah, I saw a clip of a guy doing a handstand into one of those gigantic palomas. Yeah. Oh my god, the best, because those look like those will get you effed up. Like I've seen those being made. I love those videos too. Like the way that they mix it really quick, and then just the way that they open the bottles and cut up the limes and how quick they squeeze them. Like, love those videos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those will get you fucked. Like that dude is drunker than a skunk. Like that dude's just on cloud nine. But having the time of his life, and I love that. Like the dude's doing a handstand into a giant pot of alcohol. I just, the clash of these cultures is just, I think the world needed it, honestly. And it's like, like don't have your thoughts stuck in one way, because when you get there, it could be totally different. I think that's what people are kind of seeing, because it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, everybody in Mexico seems to be so welcoming to the fans that are going there. Like I say, a lot of those videos are great. So, but yeah, for sure. I think World Cup is winning a lot, but man, Buc-ee's, Walmart, all our American cuisines, even in Mexico. Like I say, I haven't seen too much in Canada, but here in the U.S., everything people question us for is getting really popular.
Yes, and it kind of gives a rejuvenation to American culture, and we can't take it for granted. Some of the stuff we got here. It's pretty cool. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right, I got another take here for you.
Okay,
I'll send that over.
All right. So speaking of 80s music, let's travel to the 90s and look back at childhood movies. Let's start with one in particular where we can all cringe and say, I can't believe they let that happen. And that movie is Blank Check. Yeah, it's a movie, honestly, every now and then I enjoy watching. Because I see what they did with the Blank Check. how they how a bank lets that happen, I have no idea. I still question the whole concept of the movie, but it is hilarious. It is amazing because that's exactly probably what I would have done with a blank check, is ask
Hmm.
for so much money, and then if it happened, buying a house, I would for sure get a slide going down into the pool
Yes,
from the
that
second
was the
floor.
that's the
You
highlight
know,
right there.
the little like go kart, the track, all that. In the movies they made back then, like I say, and it sort of touches on like the scary movie thing. There wasn't a lot of like cancel culture the way it is.
Mm.
Some of the content in the movies back in the day, yes, it's a lot more questionable now, but it was amazing, and I think it's what we all enjoy, from Blank Check to, I'm trying to, like I say, Trading Places, the one with Chris Tucker.
Yep, Tropic
Um,
Thunder, I think is one I
yeah,
always like to reference.
yeah,
Even though that's kind of a bit more modern.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Twins, like a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Christmas
Kindergarten
one,
Cop. I don't know if that
Kindergarten
one was too bad.
Cop.
Yeah,
Like I say, the one with Sinbad. What is it? Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way,
Like that one's insane.
classic.
Over like yeah, Black Friday used to look like that, but it's like it's so ridiculous, but it's still, they don't make movies that way. And like I say, what the movies they make nowadays, it's just a whole different type of genre. So I see why, but yeah, um, movies were good, but yeah, a lot of times you look at it now, yeah, you will cringe a little bit with some of it, and like I say, how they got away with it, I just like, especially Blink Check. I think that's another one. Richie Rich too, like the whole thing.
Oh,
Like
love that movie.
you're really
Yes,
gonna have a whole amusement park in your house, like a
and
roller coaster
McDonald's.
and
Yes.
McDonald's. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, yeah, you gotta be like extremely rich, even more than Elon Musk rich.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then yeah, grown adult thinking that all the money's just going to be somewhere in cash in a
Yeah,
vault. And it's like, nah, even back then that's not how it went down.
yeah,
Um I was just love that movie. That movie was certainly one that made me jealous because it's like, dude, freaking McDonald's in there. You
yeah,
have a roller coaster, like, dude, unbelievable lifestyle.
yeah.
Obviously, just far beyond anybody could imagine. And then, with Blank Check in particular, you mentioned cancel culture, you mentioned a lot of that stuff. That movie in particular had a big age gap in a relationship that
Oh
kind of
yeah,
went on. The FBI agent lady was a grown adult
yeah,
with a child that they went on some dates, and then I think he was a comedian. I saw a clip today where he did a flashback. Just a video montage of a lot of the
yeah,
film and the dancing and the lady saying, "Oh, I had a great time tonight," and blah blah blah. And then they're like, and then the boy's like, "Oh, when can I see you again?" And I think he's probably 10 or 11 in the film.
yeah,
And then the lady's like, maybe in about 8 years. And then like that's when he's an adult. And then he's like, no, 5. And then she's like 7. And then he's like 6. And then she's like, she kind of gave in at 6. And it's like, well, you're still not there. And then the cherry on top was she gave him a kiss on the lips. And
yeah,
I was like, if we had anything like that today, ooh,
yeah.
I don't think it would settle.
I don't think it would. Yeah,
Yeah, big deal. I mean,
yeah,
hey, you put yourself in his footsteps at that age, and you're like, lucky. You're thinking about it there, but it's like as we're all adults now, you're like, probably shouldn't have gone
yeah.
there.
You're like, I see where it went wrong, and like I say, I
Yeah.
don't think we see movies like that anymore because of
Mm-mm.
just a lot. Like I say, I think it's just what people have recognized is wrong, even though it's comedy, even though it's make believe. People take things very seriously, so that's why, like I say, I don't think we'll see many things like that nowadays. The humor, the comedy, the raunchiness, and just like the cringe type situations of movies back then. Just because, like I say, it's not realistic, and I think they've realized that they need to be a little bit more accurate with some of the things. Because some kids might believe it, some kid might watch blank check nowadays and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just take a check to the bank and try to cash it for $1 million." You do that nowadays, FBI is coming and gonna arrest that kid because they're thinking
Mhm.
something illegal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No doubt. And yeah, and then I guess they catch like the bad guys, right? In
Yeah,
in that film, and yeah, it's kind of like where'd my
yeah,
money go? Blah blah blah.
yeah.
Vera in the chat actually mentioned an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I completely forgot about. Junior, the male pregnancy movie.
Yeah,
That's a great pull there.
yeah,
Because that was certainly one that's would be a little different today.
yeah,
Yeah, the list goes on and on and on. But honestly, those films that we're kind of brought up with, like, just they're super quotable a lot of times. Disney movies altogether, like, were ones that I would stay up for, till
yeah,
8 o'clock when they would come on. And, like some of them was, I think of the movie Smart House. Remember that one?
yeah,
Everybody wanted that house. That one
yeah,
was incredible.
yeah,
It's stuff like that, but then you mix that in with like, I can't believe we didn't bat an eye at this. Like,
yeah.
it wouldn't last.
Yeah, it's almost like I always talk about it very like Home Alone,
Mm,
amazing movie,
yeah.
but man, that kid should be in jail for life for pretty much committing murder or attempted murder 40 times on those robbers. Yes, they're robbers, but
Uh,
you're going a little above and beyond, burning their head, dropping
yeah.
buckets on them,
The
and
hot
going to Home
handle.
Alone too. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Home Alone
it's
too.
like. Yeah, that's another intense one where it's like this kid should be getting locked up for what he was doing because it was excessive.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm pretty sure we would have all been in for belt to ass if we
Yeah.
scheduled the Plaza Hotel and had ice cream
Oh
sundaes every night.
yeah. Yeah.
It would be a
Yeah.
lot more than just Kevin.
Yeah.
It'd be a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah. It's a big deal when you see the videos of kids using their parents' credit card to get some Minecraft dollars, Roblox, or even
Hmm.
what's the one game, the video game, the shooting one. Wait a minute.
Oh,
I never
Fortnite.
recommend it. Fortnite, like all the Fortnite bucks to do like get characters, like
Hmm.
you get in a lot of trouble for that. Now imagine, yeah, the Plaza Hotel at the rate nowadays, whew, pretty much a
Oh,
year's worth of pay.
yeah. Yeah. I think somebody like a year or two ago did a calculation of what his stay would have costed now. And they have that ice cream sundae on the menu for
Oh,
room
do they?
service. And I want to say it's like $200.
Oh my gosh.
It's a fortune. But if I had the money to stay at the Plaza Hotel, I might just do it, like,
Yeah,
just to experience it. And it's like, I'm
yeah,
here. I
yeah,
love ice cream more than I
yeah,
should.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'll finish that bad boy.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. I think I would
Yeah,
too.
light work.
Yeah. I think, like I say, Plaza Hotel Smart, what they should always have is that one movie that he always watches just playing on a channel. Just like a
Oh
little,
yeah,
a movie just has to be on repeat the whole time so you can sort of recreate that experience.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly a hotel to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, love
Yeah.
love reminiscing on that. We reminisced on music, and then and
Yeah.
then and
The,
then some
the
movies.
movies. Yeah. Yeah. Because even like the cartoon movies, some of them, they
Yeah.
just go a little too much. Or even like the TV shows, Ren and Stimpy, you
Hmm.
know, all the stuff with Doug, the
Doug. Yeah,
backstories of what really is going on with Doug. It's like,
one of my favorite shows growing up too.
yeah, yeah, Hey
Yeah.
Arnold. It's
Yep.
like, it's like all those things that they can't do. I think the most they've done is like SpongeBob. I think that's probably at the closest level to what cartoons used to be back in the day.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's conspiracies out there about Fairly Odd Parents, and
Hmm.
and what goes on behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
And he goes in to escape reality with those fairies. Sad, kind of crazy
Yeah.
twist. And then the Thornberries is another one I think about.
Oh yeah.
Just living in the wilderness and have a crazy ass sibling.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Yeah, wouldn't change it for anything though. I think the childhood movies we all experienced were phenomenal. Call us bad parents too. We put on Chucky the other day for the kiddos. And the original 1988 Chucky. They didn't pay that much attention to it. But looking back and watching that film, I was cracking up at the end of it, like how he just would not die. And I just forgot about how crazy he went coming out of the vent at the end. Spoiler alert, anybody who hasn't seen that, it's been 40 years. But cracked me up. Really good reminiscing film if anybody wants one. The original Chucky, fantastic.
Yeah, those were good ones. But yeah, that's 90s movie. I'll send you this last week. Okay. Might not be too long, but just something I thought was interesting and cool.
Perfect. All right. The coolest part of Artemis 3 isn't what that we're planning to go back to the moon. It's that a Salvadorian-American kid can now realistically say, I want to be an astronaut and actually have someone to point to. Artemis 3 is the recent moon mission, right? Trip around the moon.
The one they're planning.
One of the crew members, El Salvadorian?
Salvadorian-American.
Super cool. Yeah, there's quite a bit talked about that altogether, and I can't believe I missed out on that, having, a lot of family being Salvadorian. So that's really awesome. And it shows just how expansive, space travel is getting, the availability of like just education in general is just becoming a lot easier, I think, with just advancements in technology, what's available there. And then, just opportunity in general. I think that, just a lot of people coming into it, just using America as a reference, coming here, creating lives, and then being able to do stuff like this. Like NASA is obviously one of the coolest entities I feel like that is out there. Like, we're a big UFO space kind of podcast here. We like diving into those topics. And it's just so fascinating. And to have them not only be able to experience that, but future generations to kind of point to that significant event and being like, he did it, why can't I? Yeah. And I think that's super cool. I know of somebody I used to work with. He's Mexican-American. His father was from Mexico. And he worked for NASA as well. And it's just obviously not to the level of an astronaut, but just being able to work for NASA is quite the accomplishment. So super cool. It just goes to show, like I just said, just super expansive and where we're heading to, just with the possibilities of space travel that I think we'll be able to witness a lot in our lifetime.
Yeah. No, yeah. When I saw this, I thought it was really cool because I wasn't aware of him. Reading into it a bit, and like I say, because this Artemis 3 mission, these missions to the moon, we talked about it when the Artemis 2 was happening, came back. It's gonna be really for the future of our kids and their kids and future generations, because most likely with how things are going, global warming, who knows if UFOs are real, coming to take over, we might have to live in space. And this is a way to sort of see how to do that and get more knowledge and more information about space and that type of technology you need. And what's really cool, like I said, because like one of the things I was thinking is like, this guy was picked because of his experience. It wasn't picked because it's a quota. Oh, we need to send some Hispanic guy up there. This guy has already been in space and was in space 300 plus days. So he knows, that experience. He's been there. So being part of this mission, I think it's big for not just like Salvadorian American, but even just all those living in different cultures, Mexican, Central American, South American, And knowing that there is an opportunity for you, if you enjoy space, love that, and maybe want to be an astronaut, that it is possible as long as you stick to it, put a lot of effort into it, and learn it. I'm still a big space guy. I've always liked space. I've always dreamed of going to space, and I'm like seeing this. I'm like, man, like if I would have known about something like this as a kid, and it was a passion I would want, maybe I would have gone more into that route. But like I say, kudos to him because, like I say, it's going to inspire a whole new generation of space explorers, and it's something we're going to need.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just a lot of things that are kind of pointing towards the necessities of doing these missions. And this UFO stuff,
Yeah,
it's confirmed. It's we had that Brazilian guy, literally crying
yeah,
on his live stream of what he was seeing in the sky. Crazy stuff, man. Like,
yeah.
coinciding that with, and I say, this will be super brief. I know we've blabbed, but that cold circle that's up there in the northern Pacific has everybody kind of stumped their thoughts on what it could be. I'm like, man, we've talked a lot about our oceans, Sean. I don't know what's keeping it cold.
Yeah. Well,
Do
it's
aliens
over
like the
there.
cold?
Well, yeah, because if you think about the deep ocean, it's cold in the deep ocean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but like the water temperature just going into the Pacific Ocean here in SoCal, or
Mhm.
in like the Ventura, LA area, it's freezing even on the
Yep.
warmest days. So I could only
Mhm.
imagine the middle of the ocean going deep in there, how cold it is if you could just feel the coldness. Is it something that aliens are attracted to? We don't know.
Mhm.
Like I say, yeah. When you sent me
Yep.
that picture of it, it's just like everywhere is red, but then there's just that cold circle, and I'm like, okay, what's in there? What is there?
Right. Yeah. What force field is around that? I want to
Yeah,
know. Yeah. Maybe we'll get some answers. I don't know, but fascinating. We're seeing a lot more of it.
yeah,
Opportunities out there for everybody. Um, and I think that's the beauty of life itself is there's a zillion different avenues you can take in life. And hopefully everybody's enjoying the path they're on.
yeah,
And space exploration is becoming more and more expansive, and the opportunities will hopefully be only increasing in the future. So
yeah,
um,
for sure.
great stuff, really cool topic.
Yeah,
I hope to see more news about that because I think it's worth talking about.
yeah. No, it'll be really cool. But yeah, it came up on my feed, and I thought it was really interesting and awesome. But yeah,
Mhm.
those are our banter takes for today. Agree or disagree? Think one of us has completely lost our mind with our take. Let us know. Drop your banter take in the comments, and let us know what you think of this week's info. But we'll go into our banter sports books, or sport book. This is where we put our sports knowledge, predictions, and just reputation on the line. From the biggest games to the hottest storylines to championship races, all that in the sports world, we're going to be talking. So, no betting slip is required here, just sports talk, strong opinions, and plenty of banner. So we'll get into it and we'll talk our NBA final take. So last week we were discussing Spurs. Were Spurs tied 2-2 or was it already or
Um, Down 2-1, I believe it
2-1?
was,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there were a few games. Um, like I say, overall, if you haven't heard the news yet, I don't think it's a spoiler alert. It's already been out there for a while. New York Knicks champions once again.
Yep.
Shout out to the Knicks. My prediction came right. Sorry, Tim. Spurs got close, but
Yep.
great win. Uh, my take: Knicks were dominant. Knicks were the more experienced squad. Spurs are a team to fear because they're only going to grow from this, just the way they did last year, grow from their experience. And Wemby, this guy, when he has something set in his mind, him being like this monk now, he's gonna achieve his goal. So he got to experience this. He sees where they made the mistakes. They're gonna learn from it. And this is a young squad with San Antonio that we'll see them next year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. A few main points for me. I really so altogether, Knicks win, phenomenal for city of New York, all the Knicks players involved. Um, Shout out Mike Brown. Just adore that guy as a coach. I think he's phenomenal. And the bad part of it is I think that they saved Adam Silver's job. Because everybody knows how we kind of feel about Adam Silver and just the crap product and what he's allowed in the NBA lately with flopping. One team in particular, Oklahoma City. But I feel like altogether this was very, very good for the NBA. I think that these two teams are the essence of what we all wanted for an NBA Finals and also what we want across the league in the NBA. I think we want hard-nosed play on both sides of the ball, a lot more physicality, less fouls called, not so much flopping. And then next point, Wemby has really started a villain arc, and I think it's a really good thing. He played very edgy. He had in his press conferences, he has a kind of edgy arrogance to him. Very kind of a very subtle cockiness. It's like a French cockiness, if that makes sense. And I like it. I think that it brings a really good spice to the league. I think that that dude is just ball is life, and he's going to be back. De'Aaron Fox has to go, but I don't think they can get rid of him. He is, I think, the fourth highest paid NBA player over the next 2 seasons. That's a bummer. Yeah. And his layup, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Even his explanation didn't make sense. Yeah. He just really costed them. It was bad. But there's a lot of great elements to the Spurs. Mitch Johnson, new coach. He's young. Don't even think he's 40 yet. I think you give him time. Yeah. I think a lot of people are coming down hard on him because he did have some boneheaded new coach kind of moments, but he has helped the Spurs team a lot, and we can't overlook that. Certainly shouldn't be calling for Mitch Johnson to lose his job. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job there. And I don't think the Spurs franchise is that type of franchise to let somebody go. They kind of remind me of the Steelers. I think they keep their coaches for quite some time. Yeah. But yeah, Spurs have a lot going for them. Knicks, phenomenal. I'm really happy for Cat. There's a lot to his background, being from New York, the loss of his mother, the way just the way he was carrying himself throughout the playoffs. I know that we all joke around, about some of his sassiness, and it's all fun and games, but he seems like a great person. I think that he told all the naysayers about the defense. He turned that around. Brunson is freaking awesome. Yeah. Josh Hart, the Villanova squad, phenomenal. But again, shout out Mike Brown. Also, one final point. Mike Brown, pretty rare for a coach to do this, was advocating for his assistant coach to get some phone calls regarding open opportunities around the NBA because he says that he deserves it. Really cool. I think it's rare that somebody would be that outspoken about that and really recognize that. And then the "Who Let the Dogs Out" thing I think is hilarious. A couple of weeks ago, making a joke about Baja Men Who Let the Dogs Out. Love to see everybody likes that song. So good stuff. Congrats to the Knicks. Congrats, John. Made the right choice. We'll run it back for years to come. Spurs gave a good fight. Wasn't enough, but great series overall. Basketball needed it.
Yeah, no, it's a series we all needed. It's the basketball we all wanted. It was a series. I think the first time this whole year I watched the entire games. Mm-hmm. The last game I was watching I have YouTube TV as well. Picture in picture, soccer and
Love it.
basketball
I
on
love
each.
that.
Had to move
Yep.
back and forth because it's World Cup, but it was amazing. And I think my question, because it's a question that comes up after a team wins a championship. Brunson going to be known as one of the best Knicks to go down in history?
That's a great question. Yeah, if you ask me, I think he is the best Nick of all time already. I would crown him already. I know there's don't get me wrong. There's a crap ton of legends that have played there. He did what a lot couldn't,
Yeah.
and got them the ring that they've been seeking for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
The city of New York is a super polarizing fan base
Yeah.
that endures a lot of loss. Have teams like the Yankees that win a crap ton as well. But they will let you hear it. And if you win over New York the way Brunson has, that dude has the key for life.
Yeah.
And yeah, to do it alongside his father. Super cool. Yeah, I honestly at this point I would crown Brunson already.
Yeah, he's up there. There should be eventually a statue to him because without him, the Knicks probably wouldn't even have been in the situation. He did so much, and even in the last game, that they won it, them being down again, like I think they were like down 17 or something. Brunson had one of the most highest scoring games in a final for a player. So I think he's up there. I think a lot of people, you look at Patrick Ewing, a legend for New York, but
Mm-hmm.
what Brunson did above him for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and we all love the Linsanity run. I love it. I
Yeah.
rewatch those clips maybe once a year. I love those clips.
Yeah.
But that looks kind of like child's play in
Yeah.
comparison to a lot of this. It's like you're fascinated over regular season games from a player that just was playing out of his mind, which is awesome. But this just kind of trumps a lot of that. And then as far as I was going to make one other point as far as yeah, I guess we can move on. I again forget. But yeah, super big win. I think it's awesome for the New York Knicks altogether. Yeah, good for the fan base.
Yeah, good for the fan base. I think next big NBA stuff is sort of looking at what the draft brings. We'll see what draft day trades come up. I know my Clippers, we got the 5th round pick, so a good pick, but you never know. There's still a lot of rumors. Utah wants to move up, number one, but AJ, I don't think Washington's going to move much, but who knows? We'll see what's getting offered, but that's NBA. And then quick baseball. I know you want to touch on it. Jacob Mizorowski game. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, this kid is phenomenal. I think anybody that gets the opportunity to watch Miz throw, quite frankly, as far as the season has gone on, he's better than Skeens. Like this dude is unfreaking real. I think out of the fastest pitches thrown, top 50 this year so far, as far as starting pitchers go, I think Mizorowski is responsible for 45 out of the 50 fastest pitches from a starting pitcher. Dude struck out Schwarber final out of his Maddox shutout, which is less than 100 pitch shutout. Very hard to do, but he did that with 15 strikeouts. I don't think he ever got to a 3-ball count throughout the game.
Nice.
Only gave up 1 hit as well.
Yeah.
And he struck him out on a 103-mile-an-hour fastball that late in the game, still throwing absolute gas. He is an absolute anomaly. We are seeing pitchers throw faster and faster and faster each and every single year, but this is something that is a rarity, with Miz. So, representing the Bulls in Chicago, I know my dad doesn't like seeing Miz come anywhere near his Cubbies, but yeah, he's a freaking beast. So yep, shout out him. Rare sight to see what he did this past weekend. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, that's some good stuff. Like I said, you're the baseball expert between the two of us, so I believe everything you say, and yeah, we'll see.
That's all we got so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Not much
There
else going
hasn't
on.
been too much. I have seen skiing's just struggling, so
Yeah.
good news. But yeah, that's a little bit of baseball. Like I say, I think as soon as baseball season gets closer to the end and going to the postseason, we'll probably follow up a little bit more. But I think right
Hmm.
now, as you can tell from our beginning take, our Wolfpack soccer's on our mind, and our
Dominating.
bit is dominating a lot of the attention for us at the moment. But we'll go into our last segment. We'll try to make this quick. Reel on the Rocks. This is where we talk movies, TV shows, streaming hits, theater releases, and everything happening in the world of entertainment. So whether we're reviewing the latest blockbuster, breaking down a binge-worthy series, revisiting a classic, or testing our movie knowledge with a few games along the way, nothing is off limits. Some reviews will be thoughtful, some opinions will be controversial, and there's a good chance we'll end up arguing about a movie one of us actually enjoyed. So we'll start with the summer movie check-in, our summer movie game. And Tim had Disclosure Day releasing this
Hmm.
past weekend. So Disclosure Day made a total of 44,530,925. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's a little lower than what I was expecting. Probably also
Same.
what you were thinking.
Hmm.
Um, for me, it's a good sign. I'm okay with it because,
Yeah.
like I say, I've
It's
only
big.
had one movie, scary movie, which also wasn't one of my highest picked movies. That made 54, so I'm feeling a little comfortable. But your total as of now is 207,603 or 207,603,782,
Okay.
and you still have Odyssey and Moana left.
Love
I
it.
think your big hitter Odyssey. Moana's going to be a hit or a miss. We'll see how it sort of ends up towards the end, but it's a Disney movie. Disney
I
movies
believe in
always,
the hair.
yeah. You believe in
The Rock's
in
hair.
the Fabio hair,
Luscious. Just
yeah,
like the crowds that will go see it.
yeah. So, and then I'm at a total of 54,336,626 with only Scary Movie have played. I got Spider-Man still coming up, Toy Story, Supergirl, and Minions and Monsters. So
Mm.
still got 4 movies, so still a lot to go. I think this week it is
Toy Story.
Toy Story. I think it is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
gonna be big. I
yeah,
think we're gonna go see it.
yeah.
This is gonna be big.
Are your kiddos already asking about it?
Yes, and they already know when we turn on the Taylor Swift song that they know that that's related to Toy Story.
Okay.
We played it
So
a
Taylor,
lot. It's a great song.
it is.
Great song.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we got Toy Story coming out this week. After that, next week we got Supergirl coming out, so that's another one of mine.
Hmm.
Then we got Minions and Monsters coming out pretty soon after that.
Got to run with your films lately. These next
Yeah,
few weeks.
yeah, and then I think it's your two, Moana, and then the Odyssey, and then towards the end for me it's Spider-Man, end of July. So
It's gonna be close.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
really close.
yeah, yeah. I think after the Odyssey, I'll have a better idea of where we're at. I think if I'm within that 80 to 90 million, I think I could take it with Spider-Man. But like I said, we'll sort of see what happens.
Yep. Yep. I got to take down the reigning champ. Got to take him down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can't take the Odyssey and lose.
yeah,
Can't.
yeah. It's the number one pick.
It's good stuff.
Uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I was gonna do a quick review. I did watch Disclosure Day this past weekend. Remember a bit of it, and me saying remember a bit of it, it shows it wasn't as great as I was hoping.
Yep.
But still, a movie I did enjoy it. I do know it. I enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. I will say the way it started, very confusing start.
Mm.
I felt lost, like I missed like 20-30 minutes of the movie on how it started, but eventually you figure out exactly where why they started that way and where the story went. You see the progression, you hear more of the backstory. So overall, I enjoyed the movie, the story. what I liked about it's about aliens. You
Hmm.
see some of the aliens he creates, and it really just makes you freak out. I will say the best part of the movie is towards the end during the news scenes.
Mm.
That was the most intense, and I think the best part of the movie I enjoyed. Um, but I think what was really related to like what we talk about and what I liked, it's sort of like all the CIA releasing information. It's sort of that because it's
Mm.
about covering up, all this info and what they're actually doing with aliens, the connections, technology, all that. And if someone's just pretty much leaking it, bringing the story out of the CIA, like, I'm not going to go into too many details to avoid spoilers, but going into the place where they have all this info, getting the data out and trying to leak it to the
Mm.
world, but also making sure, is it okay to leak to the world? How is the world going to take it? And sort of figuring out, that sort of thought, like, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to cause mayhem? Um, overall, great movie. Acting, it got a little dull at times, but like I say, I enjoyed it, and I think I enjoyed it more because it's what we talk about. We've talked about this a
Yeah.
lot. The CIA releasing the files, and it's sort of give me more, and it's sort of what I want from the CIA. Just give us everything. Don't give us these little snippets here and there. Give me everything about UFOs.
Yes, yeah, slow tease. It's what trailers ought to do a lot more of these
Yeah.
days instead of releasing the whole film in a trailer.
Yeah.
Um, and it's I'm guilty of this, John. And I'll admit it's probably a bad sign, when it comes to a lot of like movie connoisseurs. But I'm pretty big on movies that might be kind of slow in between things. If I have it at home, I'm going to fast forward through a lot of the slow talking scenes. I do that sometimes,
Yeah.
just to get to the point. Is this one of those movies that you feel like your average viewer would skip like a ton of pointless dialogue to kind of get to the next thing? Do you feel like there is a lot of those kind of moments?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think there is. I think once it comes on our release, people are going to try to skip a few sections that I they relate to the story, but I would say it's probably closer to the first act to going into the second, where a lot of it was like, we really didn't need this. I didn't need to hear this
Mm,
whole backstory with this couple and what's going on, but
yeah.
like I say, then you sort of see how it connects at the end a little bit, but it's like, you still didn't need it. So there are a few sections that you're sort of like, did we really need this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like if I'm going to watch a movie that I know is about aliens, I'm sorry. I could care less about Cindy and Larry's marriage issues.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Where the hell are the aliens? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, get to the point. I think that's why I really like the movie Signs, because it just
Hmm.
leaves you kind of hanging. And you don't get a lot of that bullshit. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
you're just kind of with the suspense. You see the video footage here and there.
Yeah.
And I don't have to hear about Larry and Cindy's marriage issues. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll wait till video. I think that home video. I'll wait till VHS. No, I'll wait till it comes out on streaming. Fast forward through a lot of it. Get to the good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, get to the good stuff. Like I say, I think the end is the most eventful piece. There's a few sections throughout the movie that sort of connect it all together,
Mhm.
and why the characters are sort of going through their journey to reach that end piece. Like I say, it's very interesting. So I think it's a great, it's a movie I enjoyed. I think overall, out of whiskey glasses, I do give it 2.5. I think there could
Mm.
have been a lot more. I did read a lot of reviews that they're saying, like, because it's Steven Spielberg, it's getting a lot of hype. But if it was M Night Shyamalan, it would probably be a dud. And I'm like, that's unfortunate, just because
Yep.
of director. Because I still think, like I say, the content of the movie I enjoyed because we talk about it, and it's like I say, it's what I want from the CIA. Just release everything. I'm ready to handle whatever you have, even
Yeah.
though I might not be able to. Who knows?
Right. I will in the beginning, and it's like
Yeah.
I can't unsee it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, good stuff. Good synopsis, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like I said, trying to be as spoiler free. with the movie review. But yeah, that's our banter reels, and yeah, that's it for today. Thank you to everybody for just listening, watching, hanging out with us today. The support, as always, we say it day in, day out, week in, week out. Just helps us keep growing every single week. If you enjoyed the episode, do us a favor, hit that subscribe, follow button, hit the bell on YouTube to get the alerts, and just anywhere else you listen, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and follow us on our socials. We're always posting clips here and there, our vlog clips. Go on YouTube as well, and our socials, Insta and TikTok. Unfortunately, we can't really post our vlog clips onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but catch us there. And yeah.
Yeah, no, appreciate each and every one of you. Much like John said, be sure to check out all the different socials. Behind the scenes, we're always working on new concepts, new things that is more expansive than, just the podcast style that we will continue to do each and every week. So a lot of fun stuff, I think, ahead for us. And, we appreciate each and every single one of you always watching, listening, taking time out of your day to comment, subscribe, staying tuned. We love doing this stuff. Hope it becomes even more full time, and we have the goal with this, and we'll always be here. So thank you so much. Enjoy that World Cup soccer.
Yeah,
and everybody visiting, enjoy the food.
Yes, enjoy the food, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.